Don't blink, because what I'm about to tell you sounds impossible. Two guys went on a normal day trip and somehow ended up at a funeral that didn't exist. And the worst part? They weren't just watching it. They were part of it. Welcome to True Horror Files. This is where real stories are told, quietly, but leave something behind. Every episode we share real experiences, moments that can't be explained, things that don't feel right, and memories that stay with people long after they happen. If you've ever experienced something strange, something that still crosses your mind late at night, you're not alone. And if you're ready to share your story, you can write it or record it and send it to truehorrorfilesite@gmail.com. Your experience could be featured in a future episode. New episodes drop every Friday and Sunday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. For now, turn down the lights and listen closely. This story comes from my friend Jason, not his real name. He asked me to keep the exact location private, so I'll keep things general. This happened back in 1992. Jason's dad was living around Cobb County, Georgia. That summer, two of his cousins came down from Ohio to visit. You know the kind of trip. Summer break. Nothing planned. Just killing time. So, they came up with a simple idea. Let's go to a lake. Just to give you all a hint, it's one of the most famous lakes in North Georgia. The next day they headed out. Jason's father also brought along two friends. They took two cars, one car, Jason's father and his friends. The second, his cousins, following behind. They spent the entire day there, fishing, swimming, just enjoying themselves. It was a perfect day, and that's usually how these stories begin. Perfectly normal, until they're not. By evening, they were heading home. Everything felt normal, until they reached a four-way stop. Jason's father crossed first. The cousins stopped behind him, and that's when they noticed something. Off to one side, a hearse. Behind it, 7 more cars all lined up, waiting. Too clean, too perfect, like they didn't belong there. No one was honking, no one moved, just silence. And that silence felt heavy. Then from the 4th car, someone made a gesture, calling them forward, telling them to follow, not asking. And right after that, all 7 cars moved, one by one, smooth, uninterrupted. Like this wasn't traffic. It was a procession. And somehow, they had been pulled into it. After that, something changed. They couldn't focus on anything else. They just followed, like the decision had already been made for them. They kept driving. For how long, they don't know. Time didn't feel normal anymore. The road didn't look familiar. Too smooth. Too perfect. Almost unreal. Eventually, the car stopped in front of a cemetery. Beside it, a large church. Everything was lit up, bright, decorated, perfectly arranged, like a ceremony was about to begin. And there were people, hundreds of them, standing in 2 perfect lines, same height, same black hooded clothing, no faces visible, no movement, just waiting. not watching, waiting. Then the church doors opened. 2 people stepped out. Behind them, 8 carrying a coffin. They moved slowly between the lines, reached the hearse, opened the coffin they had brought, then removed another coffin from inside the vehicle and placed it inside, closed it, and carried it back into the church. No one reacted. No one spoke. Everything felt controlled, like every movement had already been planned. They stayed inside the car because someone had already signaled them not to get out, and somehow that felt safer. Then the doors opened again. 3 priests stepped out. Their presence felt heavier, calmer, but strict. Their voices carried a faint echo, not loud, but impossible to ignore. The same 8 carried the coffin. More people followed behind, and one detail stood out. The coffin was massive, 9, maybe 10 feet long, which made no sense. But by then, nothing did. Then someone walked up to their car. A knock, soft. Their awareness snapped back. Then a second knock, louder, sharper, a command. They stepped out, not because they wanted to, but because they felt they had no choice. They were led to the grave. One of the priests gestured for them to get inside. No explanation, no option to refuse. They climbed down, shaking. The coffin was handed to them. It felt almost weightless, 5, maybe 6 pounds. They placed it exactly as shown, climbed back out, and were told their part was done. They could leave. They got back in the car, started the engine, and everything broke. No lights, no people, no ceremony, just a broken church and an abandoned graveyard, like none of it had ever existed. They drove, no direction, no plan. But this time, it feels different. It's no longer that perfect road. Now it feels like they're driving through a deep forest. Dark, empty, endless. They keep going. And then suddenly, daylight. The early morning sun, just starting to rise. They find a road, follow it, and eventually, they reach a gas station. They step out, still shaken, and ask the worker, "How far is Cobb County?" The worker looks at them, confused, and says, "You're nowhere near Cobb County. It's a 2-hour drive from here. You're in Hancock County." And the moment they hear that, they freeze, because they have no idea how they even got there. Panicking now, they ask for directions. The man helps them, and somehow they make it back. Meanwhile, Jason's dad had been searching for them, along with his friends, near the lake. All night, he couldn't find them anywhere. He was about to report them missing when they suddenly showed up. Out of nowhere. No warning. No explanation. For them, hours had passed. For everyone else, they were just gone. But here's what stayed with them. They never told that worker what really happened. And later, when they tried to piece it together, they couldn't. They didn't even remember the drive home. Only God knows. That's all they said. When they finally got home, something was clearly wrong. They looked drained, terrified. That same day, both of them developed a high fever. And that's when Jason's dad realized this wasn't normal. So he took them to a priest, someone known for dealing with things like this. The priest didn't explain anything. He just performed rituals. And slowly, they got better. But whatever they experienced that night didn't just disappear. It stayed with them, quietly, in the background. But here's what doesn't sit right. Out of everyone on that road, why them? And what would have happened if they refused? So what do you think this was? A ritual? Another reality? Or something we were never meant to see? If you enjoyed the story, don't forget to subscribe and share it with someone who loves stories like this. And if you have your own unexplained experience, send it to us by email. You might hear your story in a future episode. That's it for today. I'll see you in the next one. Until then, stay safe and stay with True Horror Files.